Hey everybody, welcome back to video number 2 for this week, and in this video I'll be discussing the long-term physiological adaptations that occur with resistance training. Now my first video focused primarily on the immediate responses and neural adaptations, so today, in this video I'll be discussing how resistance training changes skeletal muscle over time. Now as I'm doing these lunges here, the muscles in my quads, glutes, and hamstrings are producing force to control both the lowering and lifting phases of the movement. Each repetition places mechanical stress on the muscle fiber, and repeated exposure to this mechanical overload stimulates muscle protein synthesis. Now, muscle protein synthesis is the process of building new muscle proteins, and when protein synthesis exceeds protein breakdown over time, muscle fibers increases in size. This is where you get your gains from. This is where you get hypertrophy. Now, rather than increasing the overall number of muscle fibers, resistance training primarily causes existing fibers to become larger by increasing the amount of contractile proteins, such as actin and myosin, within each muscle fiber. And as these proteins increase, the muscles become capable of generating greater forces. Another important concept in resistance training physiology is progressive overload. So for continued adaptation to occur, the muscles must continuously be challenged with workloads that exceed what they are already accustomed to. So without the progressive overload, improvements in strength and muscle would eventually, and even muscle size, would eventually plateau. Now, as I'm wrapping up with these lunges here, we're going to transition into wall sits. And with wall sits, a little bit different. So with wall sits, your muscle is going to be maintaining an isometric contraction. Now, isometric contraction is just muscle activation without lengthening or shortening. So your muscles stay the same like length, pretty much. And even though there isn't any visible movement, my muscles are going to be continuously producing force in order to hold this position. I'm going to let myself go ahead and get into that wall sit position here, so just so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Yep. So it's a low. That's not that low. What was I doing? All right, besides the point, sorry. But these adaptations occur with resistance training, and they depend on several training variables. So, these include the amount of resistance used, the number of repetitions and sets performed, and the frequency of training, which is just like how many times a week are you going out to exercise, as well as the amount of recovery between workloads. That's also very important. Now, at higher training volumes and consistent progressive overload generally produce the greater improvements in muscular strength and hypertrophy. However, adequate recovery is equally important just because muscle remodeling occurs after the training session has ended. Resistance training also produces adaptations within connective tissue, so tendons, ligaments, they become stronger over time. And these adaptations reduce injury risk and improve overall function performance. Now, in addition to muscular changes, resistance training can improve bone health by increasing the mechanical loading on the skeleton, which stimulates bone remodeling and contributes to a greater bone mineral density. Now, I transitioned into a walking recovery here, also just kind of stretching out, just because those lunges really got me. But my muscles begin the repair process that ultimately leads to adaptation. Blood flows will remain elevated in delivering oxygen and nutrients needed for tissue repair, also while removing the metabolic byproducts during the exercise session. So although the workout for today has ended, the physiological adaptations continue well after the exercise is complete, and recovery is, it's when much of the muscle repair and protein synthesis is occurring. So allowing these muscles to become stronger before the next training sessions is incredibly important.